It is day 6 of the Heartbreak Boys road trip, and I am in Kent, the Garden of England, with Alice Oseman. Hello.
Hello, happy to be here.
Oh, it's so nice to be here and for you to be a stop on this wonderful road trip. How are you?
I'm good, not too bad. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm enjoying this trip around the US and the UK, chatting to wonderful authors of LGBT books. Now, first of all, we're around the virtual campfire. So what delights have you brought with you?
So I have brought, firstly, a sketchbook, very on brand for me.
Very on brand, Alice.
And some colouring pencils, because you never know, there might be some nice wildlife you want to draw, some nice scenery. Yes. So there you go.
Or even a romantic campfire scene that needs to be captured.
Exactly.
In some way. What a wonderful thing. Well, thank you for bringing that. Now, you've got a lot of books out this year, some of which already come out, some of which are coming out, but the most recent is Loveless, of course.
Indeed.
Which you've got a copy of there. So have I. Look, there we go. Amazing. Now, tell us a little bit about Loveless for anyone who's not yet encountered the joy that is this novel.
Yes, so Loveless is my 4th young adult novel. It follows Georgia, who's 18 years old. She's obsessed with romance, but she's never had a crush on anyone and never kissed anyone. So when she goes off to university, she makes a plan. She's going to find the perfect romance and have the teenage dream experience. But things don't quite go to plan. And she embarks on this journey of figuring out her sexuality. And the book is a coming out novel about being aromantic, asexual.
Fantastic. Now that's really interesting. Now, what was it about that kind of storyline and subject matter that kind of inspired you to write this novel kind of now? Why is this the next book? Any particular reasons?
Yeah, well, it started when I first came up with the concept for the book. I wanted to write about the power of friendship and how friendships can be just as important as romance. And that kind of evolved for me into a coming out story, because I'm also aromantic, asexual. And I wanted to show like a sort of classic coming out story, because we all know about coming out stories, the kind of figuring out who you are and then telling everyone, but I'd never read something like that about being aromantic or asexual. So I wanted to write that.
No, amazing, and you're right. It's not a thing I've often encountered either. I'm trying to think, in books. So that's a really fantastic addition to to things. And yeah, I was thinking actually a sort of about that, and like in the opening chapter where George she's at it's a post-prom party, I think, isn't it? And she's kind of panicking that she's 18 and she hasn't kissed anybody. And that made me think actually, because in my book, Heartbreak Boys, Nate, although he's not going through similar stuff that Georgia is, he also goes through this thing where he feels like he should have achieved certain milestones at certain points in his life. And it occurred to me that actually a lot of people, like not just teenagers, but also as adults, we sort of get hit by these kind of almost like expectations from society about what we should be doing and when. And do you think that books like ours have something valuable to add to that kind of conversation in terms of people feeling that pressure?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think that's particularly relevant for LGBTQ plus people, not even just teenagers, but adults too. Like, if you're figuring out your identity when you're a teenager or even a bit later, then you're not really having those kind of formative experiences with romance at the age where maybe all your straight friends are. So I would love to see more stories that kind of show teens figuring out who they are maybe a little bit later, because that's an experience I think lots of people have.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. I think they absolutely do. That's the thing, isn't it? And not feeling like you're some kind of failure or less of a person just because things haven't happened, or indeed you don't want them to happen at a certain point. You know, I think that's a really important thing. So I thought that was that really struck me in the opening section, that her kind of a kind of panic. I remember like feeling something similar at school when, like, I don't know, we're about kind of like year 9 and stuff, and that was sort of for me when other people suddenly started like holding hands in the school playground, or were were seen kissing behind the temporary science labs on the field, and I was like, oh my god, but I'm not doing any of that. Is something wrong with me? And so I felt her very much, you know, in that moment. Alice, 5 books. It's quite a lot of work.
Yes.
And I think on top of that, you know, you're also like thinking about things for next year and stuff as well, and goodness knows what. I mean, I've got 3 books out this year, and that for me, I was kind of feeling a little bit of pressure from that. But I just wondered, like, how do you cope with that sort of workload?
Well, yes. So I mean, that fortunately they've been quite spread out. So kind of start of this year, I was very focused on Heartstopper, because Volume 3 came out in February. And then after that, it was all Loveless for several months. But then we decided to do the colouring book sort of in the middle of that, which I love doing.
Yes.
It was a lot of work.
Yes, just shove out a colouring book in the middle of everything else.
Yeah, no, like, it has been a very busy year, and I don't know how I've coped. I think I tried to structure my time really carefully. Like, I'm a big fan of to-do lists and planning my week in a lot of detail, because otherwise I would just get up every morning and be like, wow, I have so many different things to do. What do I do? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good top tip, actually. A good bit of planning, a good to-do list, a tick chart, so you can feel like you're making progress is an amazing thing. No, fantastic. Alice, it's been an absolute delight chatting with you, as ever. Now, I've just got one more day, I think, left on this wonderful road trip I'm on, but who am I going to see next?
You are going to Brighton to see Juno Dawson.
Lovely Brighton by the seaside with glamorous Juno Dawson. I cannot wait. Well, looking forward to that. I'll get on the road. In the meantime, it's so nice to chat to you, Alice. Thank you so much for joining the tour.